Every sports betting channel on YouTube is selling you the same dream. Quit your job, make a living betting on sports, be your own boss, freedom, tropical beaches, 6 figures from your phone. I'm going to tell you something none of them will. It's possible, because I've done it. I know dozens of people who have done it as well. But it takes years, not months, not weeks, not the 5 minutes between you watching this video and you opening your sportsbook app, but years of methodical, math-first, boring work. If you want the real plan, the actual roadmap that produces a professional bettor instead of a broke gambler, watch this entire video. I'm going to walk you through each year what you need to accomplish, what bankroll you need to hit, and the hardest truths nobody else will say on camera. Let me explain why almost everyone who tries to quit their job for sports betting fails before I show you the actual path that actually works. Their first mistake is they quit too early. They have a hot 3 months, they convince themselves it's skill. They put in their notice, and 6 months later, they're back applying for jobs with their bankroll cut in half. Variance got them. They never had enough sample size to prove their edge was real. Number 2, they underestimate the income that they actually need. People run rough math like I make $75,000 at my job, so if I can make $75,000 betting, I'm even. That's wrong. Sports betting income is taxed, and it's taxed brutally in some states. Gambling winnings are taxable at ordinary income rates, but gambling losses can only be deducted up to the amount of the winnings, and only if you itemize. Add the loss of health insurance, retirement contributions, paid time off, and any employer match, and you actually need to generate 30 to 50% more gross income to maintain the same lifestyle. And number 3, they don't account for sportsbook limits and bans. Every legal sportsbook in the US identifies winning players and restricts their action. Sometimes they ban you outright. Sometimes they cut your max bet to $50. If you can't get bets down at scale, you can't make a living, even if your edge is real. Number 4, they underestimate the psychological cost. Sports betting full-time is isolating. No co-workers, no team, no weekly paycheck regardless of performance. Every losing day, you wonder if your edge is gone. Every winning day, you wonder if you're due for a downswing. Most people aren't built for that. Knowing whether you are takes years to find out. So I'm going to build you guys a 5-year plan that addresses every one of these failures before you quit. So here's the path. Before we get to year 1, understand what you're actually building. You're not building a job. You're not building a hobby. You are building a small business, a one-person hedge fund. The product is your edge. The capital is your bankroll. The risk is your variance. The reward is your ROI compounded over time. Approach every year like a business owner building towards sustainability, not like a gambler chasing the next month's rent. The bettors who make it think in years. The bettors who blow out think in days. So let's get to the 5-year plan. Year number 1, you have to prove that you have an edge. Proving that you actually have an edge is very, very important. One of the most important things, because you can't do it without it. Most aspiring bettors skip this step entirely. They start betting real money before they've proven they can beat the market. That's like opening a restaurant before you've ever cooked. So in your first year, these are the things that you should follow to be able to prove that you have an actual edge. First thing is going to be is pick one sport. One sport, one market type. Not 14 sports. One. Whether it be NFL totals, NBA player props, UFC, any of that. Whatever sport you've watched obsessively for the last decade, the narrower your focus, the faster you build the true expertise. You need to track every bet that you would make, real money or paper. Minimum 200 bets, ideally in the 500 range. With a sample size below that, you can't statistically distinguish skill from variance. Every bet documented with your reasoning, your projected probability, the closing line, and the result. You need to calculate your closing line value. If your average bet beat the closing line by 2 cents or more, then you have an edge. Closing line value is the only honest measure of skill in sports betting. If you don't have it after 500 bets, you don't have an edge yet. You're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Now let's get to the total bankroll required for year 1. In year 1, your bankroll should be anywhere between $500 to $2,000. Now you're not trying to make money this year. You're trying to prove that you can actually win. In year 1, the income that you possibly could generate is most likely going to be 0, maybe even slightly negative. But that's fine because this year is tuition. Now, if you don't beat closing line value over 500 documented bets, don't proceed to year 2. Restart year 1 with a different sport or market. Some bettors take 2 or 3 attempts at year 1 to find their niche. That's normal though. Now let's go ahead and get to year number 2. This is going to be small stakes execution. Year 2 is about scaling from proven edge to documented probability while keeping your day job entirely intact. Year 2's plan is to bet 1 to 2% of your bankroll. And that's going to be per play, okay? So per play. No more, no less. That's what you're going to be able to stick to for year 2. This is Kelly criterion math. Bet bigger and variance will eat you even with an edge. Bet smaller and you compound too slowly. Track everything. This is one of the most important things, okay? I'm going to put it in capital letters and circle it. Track. You need to track everything you're doing. Every bet, every reasoning, every result. Build a spreadsheet that updates your ROI, your unit count, your closing line value, and your bankroll size in real time. Now, the next part to this, I would usually say in the past that you would have to operate from multiple sports books. You would have to open up 10, 15 accounts at multiple sports books to get this rolling. But the hard truth with that is, even if you do have 10 to 15 different sports books, you're going to end up getting banned. You're going to end up getting limited. It's just, that's the end game. So what you actually need to do is you need to just focus on prediction markets and stay within prediction markets. The reason why is because that is where you're going to be able to make a living doing this. So you have to find the bets that are circled on prediction markets only. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and write that down. Prediction markets only. This is the only way we're going to be able to make this a living and not be completely stressed out because all sportsbooks are banning you or limiting you for having an edge and for winning long term. Now here's your target metrics for year 2. You want to bet 500 to 1,000 plays. Your target ROI should be 5 to 10%. So that way we're building our bankroll from 1,000 to 3,000 to 5,000. Your income generated by year 2 should be in that range of 500 to 2,500 if everything goes well. Still nowhere near job replacement, right? The point isn't the money. The point is proving the edge holds up across a meaningful sample. Think, for example, if you go to college, you're going to college for what, 4 years to graduate to start a new job, right? To start your career. There's no different here, okay? It's taking years for you to learn the process to do this the correct way so you can actually graduate and do this full time. If you finish year 2 with positive ROI across 500 plus bets, you have something real. If you don't, you got to return to year 1 and find a different edge. Now let's go ahead and get to year number 3. This is where we're going to scale your bankroll. Year 3 is when the math starts to bend in your favor. You've got a proven edge. You've proven your discipline. Now you scale. So we're still going to stay in that range of 1 to 2% here, okay, for your unit. As your bankroll grows, your absolute bet size grows with it. A 2% bet on a $5,000 bankroll is $100. 2% bet on a $20,000 bankroll, $400. Same risk percentage, but more dollar profit per play. Now again, we're going to primarily focus on plays at the prediction markets because this is where you're going to be able to do this full time and not have to be stressed out and worried about limiting and getting banned and everything like that. Next, you're going to stack the bankroll with day job income. Every paycheck, allocate a fixed percentage to the betting bankroll. This is crucial. Your day job is your capital source. Your edge is the multiplier. The combination accelerates much faster than either alone. So your target metrics should look like this. Bet 1 to 2,000 plays. Target 8 to 15% ROI. Build your bankroll now from 5,000 to 25,000. Now let's talk about the income generated by year 3. 4,000 to about 15,000. Still not enough to quit, but it's meaningful. Pays for vacations, pays for mortgage on a side property, demonstrates the model is working at scale. Now let's go ahead and get to year number 4, which is going to be the income test. Year 4 is the most important year of the plan. This is when you simulate quitting your job without actually quitting it. This is the income test. You need to calculate your true expense floor, okay? Expense floor. Your monthly cost of living plus the cost of replacing your health insurance plus a tax buffer of 30 to 40% plus a buffer for losing months. Multiply that by 12. That's the gross betting income you'd need to generate annually to replace your job. So for someone with $4,000 in monthly expenses, the real number is closer to $80,000 to $100,000 in gross betting income to actually replace their job. Most aspiring pros wildly underestimate this. The number is bigger than you think. Test whether you can hit it. Operate year 4 at the bet sizing you'd need to maintain the income you would need to survive. If you need $80,000 a year and your bankroll generates 10%, your bankroll needs to be $800,000. If you can't get there, scale slower until you can. You need to build a bankroll cushion equal to 12 months of expenses on top of your betting bankroll. This is your insurance against the catastrophic downswing. Pros call it the year of runway. Without it, one bad 3-month stretch ends your career. So here's your target metrics for year 4. Bankroll needs to be between $50,000 and $150,000, depending on your living costs. Generate enough income that you could theoretically replace 100% of your day job income while still leaving the bankroll intact. Now don't quit your job yet. This is a simulation. Year 5 is the leap that everybody has been waiting for. This is when you actually quit, but only if everything in years 1 through 4 confirmed the model works. The checklist before you put in your notice goes like this. You have to have at least 2,000 documented bets with positive line closing value. Your bankroll is sized to generate that sustainable ROI, the gross income that you actually need. You have 12 months of living expenses put aside. Expenses. Now remember, this right here is not a part of your bankroll. This is separate from your bankroll. You have health insurance lined up through the marketplace, your spouse, or a separate plan. You've priced it and you factored it in. You have a tax professional who specializes in gambling income. You know what you owe quarterly. You have a separate tax account that gets a percentage of every winning month. Again, let's write that one down. A separate tax account. You also have an exit plan. If after 12 to 18 months of full-time betting, your edge collapses or your bankroll shrinks below half from its starting point, you re-enter the workforce. No ego, just math. If all 6 of those are true, you're ready. Put in your notice, quit your job, and bet on sports for a living. Now, before you close this video, a few things nobody else is going to tell you on camera. You will lose all your friends from work. The water cooler conversation, the team lunches, the after work happy hour is gone, replaced with you alone in your home office watching games. Now, the biggest thing is you used to have to work incredibly hard. Professional bettors used to have to put in 60 to 80 hours a week during peak seasons. The research would take endless time. There would be no checkout period. It would take you all day to research and find your edge in every single play that needed to be put down. But I have completely changed that because I've developed a Linemaker AI. And the Linemaker AI literally spits out the plays that give you the best edge that's going to give you that ROI day in and day out, month in and month out. So instead of spending hours endlessly looking through research and trying to find the plays that actually have an edge, you will get them in seconds and you will have the actual true freedom that you want. Now, if you want to start a free trial with the Linemaker AI so that way you can see exactly how it works, make sure you guys click the link in the description. Now, here's the honest truth. You're going to have weeks where you make $20,000 and you feel like a genius. You will have weeks where you lose $20,000 and you feel like a fraud. Both are variants. Neither is a signal. Learning to feel neither is the hardest skill in this profession. If you try to use every sportsbook that's out there known to man, you're going to get limited within 18 months. They're going to ban you. That's why I suggested that you just stay with prediction markets because the headache is way less stressful when it comes to just working with prediction markets than with sportsbooks because it becomes so complicated. Now, you're going to question your decision constantly. Every losing month, every limit cut, every time a friend talks about their 401k or their bonus check, the doubt is the job. Learning to ignore it is the skill. 5 years to learn whether you can do this. Many people get to year 3 and decide they want their day job back. That is a valid outcome. Better than learning at year 5 that you weren't built for it. You will get stressed out. You will have days where you are second guessing every single thing that you do. That's just the way that it is. You will not be able to relate to anybody that's in your circle anymore because you will be able to do whatever it is you want, whenever you want, while they have to check in with their job every single day. But this is where real life takes control and you take control of your own destiny rather than somebody else telling you what your destiny is. But the 5-year plan starts with year 1. So remember, it takes time to learn how to do this the right way where you can actually quit your job. Now, to help fast track you and get you rolling, I created the Linemaker AI, which is the system that I built for people running their own year 1. It identifies the math first plays in major sports automatically, teaches you what positive expected value looks like on a real bet. It surfaces the edge that I'd be hunting manually. You don't have to be a math major to start your year 1. You just got to have the right tools. So to start your free trial with that, click the link in the description so that way you have the best tool possible to put yourself in the best position to succeed. As always, I'm Frank from Linemaker Sports. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, I'm out.